Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, National Sales Manager for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from Bona Training.
Rob?
Using your bell today, huh?
We got a new product. Very exciting.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, gosh, how long have we been talking about this internally, man?
We have been. We've seen this a few times, haven't we?
Yes.
Yep. We finally got it.
A lot of people, we've already showed this to a lot of people around the country, or not a lot of people, but several people around the country. And this product is, especially now, the timing I think is perfect for this. And so, Rob, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Well, you already gave the thunder with your bells and everything, but tomorrow, what's tomorrow? What's the date tomorrow?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, tomorrow.
It doesn't matter.
That's right. It's not going to matter. It's like I always think we're doing the show live. We're live. We're not live. We're a tape delay. We have to be a tape delay.
Yeah, we're not good enough to be live.
Yeah. Well, they got to clean us up, you know.
Yeah.
Wayne, tomorrow is the big launch of Red Out.
Yep.
So, as my grandson would say, what's it do's?
Yeah. What is it do's?
The little guy. Oh my God, that little guy cracks me up. Whatever you show him, right? You could show him. Oh, yeah. What do you think of that? Well, what is that? It's a pen. What's it do's? Oh, you can write with it. Red Out is. How do we explain? Well, we used to get, and we get it so much on the tech line. How do I get the pink out of red oak? How do we get the pink out of red oak? Well, you know, before it was kind of tough. You probably used some bleaches back in the day. Did you use any bleaches?
Yep. We used bleach back in the day.
Yep. So that's what this is. I think this is more of like a safe bleach. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying things that, aren't true, but that's what the Red Out is. It's going to get the pink out, the red, the pink out of your red oaks, because man, it's amazing how many people would call the tech line or contractors and saying, yeah, we just want that out. Okay. So now we have a chemical for it. We've got a product.
How many times have you been out on a job and the customer just didn't want to see that pink come through? And you tried and get rid of it, and you tried to explain you can't get rid of it, or you have to bleach it, and bleach destroys the fibers of the wood, and it's actually not really safe to work with, and comes with other problems, and also can make your finish dry super fast and cause other issues. And holy smokes, when we show guys the Red Out, what it does, it is phenomenal. It's super easy to use. So
I know the technical term for what bleach does to wood. Yes. Bleach destroys the lignin in wood.
Yeah. Yep.
And the lignin is the glue that holds wood fibers together.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
So even if it does get the Red Out, it does work. You end up with a softer floor, and in the end, so it's just all around pain in the butt. So this product here is super easy. How do you apply it, Rob? How do you do this? What's the procedure?
Okay, it's pretty simple. Okay, sand the floor to a 120. Okay, almost like you're gonna water pop the floor. You're gonna take your sanding, like I said, down to final 120, then hit it with Tampico 120 multi-disc, the 120 black Tampico brush. Then you're going to roll this out. You're going to roll it out. It's a two-part, okay? There's an A and a B. And the first thing you do is you roll the A on the floor. You let the A dry for 15, 20 minutes, okay? It doesn't need to be completely dry when you apply the B, but it does need to sit for that 15 or 20 minutes, the A. Now, once it's sat for the 20 minutes, you're going to roll out the B on top. And like I said, it doesn't need to be completely dry. Then you roll the B out, same thing, 600 feet per gallon on this. Roll that out, and then let the whole thing completely dry. The way we're going to be checking the dry is just like we're water popping, okay? Get a baseline reading, baseline moisture content reading of the dry floor. And then after you put the B on and you think everything is dry, check it with a moisture meter. And just like with a water pop or water-based finishes, as long as you're within 1 point, you're good to go.
Okay, so you want to get the red out. First thing you do is you take if you need to get back on it in a hurry, you take a moisture meter, you check the moisture content of the floor. Then you roll out the A coat. Let it sit for about 15 minutes or so, and it doesn't have to be dry completely. You might still see some wet spots, but as long as it's been 15 minutes, go ahead and roll the B on it. And you'll know when it's dry if you put the moisture meter back on the floor and it's within 1 percentage point, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you put the first coat on, it can look funky, right? You're like, oh shoot, you might see stop marks and all kinds of stuff. Don't worry about none of that. You don't have to roll it like your life depends on it.
Yeah. And you're going to see some strange colors too. Like I was here at the training center. I'm doing a school this week in Monroe at the training center, and I came in early and was playing with the stuff with Robbie, and it's crazy what that first coat looks like. It almost some of the boards look like it was an iron acetate. The boards were taking it like that color.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it was
Yeah.
crazy what was happening. And then when you put the B on, it like flattened everything out.
I've seen I've seen it several times at our training centers, and I've seen pictures of it also after it's been done, and it's amazing. And like I said, I don't know how many times we've run into this when the homeowner just doesn't want that pink to show through, but they don't want a dark floor, or they like the white look, but they don't want the pink coming through. And this is a great way to just end that problem altogether. And look at the difference. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Look at the difference in the cost between red oak floors and white oak floors today. Holy smokes, they're darn near giving red oak away. So, not a bad way to be able to put in red oak and, buy the material for less money and then use this system and get rid of the red in it.
Yeah, that's what Robbie was. Robbie was specifically saying that he thinks that's what's going to be one of the biggest selling points of this, is you can turn your red oak floors into that white oak and save a ton of money. Because, like you said, the red oak is just price is plummeting. Price is plummeting. Say that a couple times. Price is plummeting.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Prices are plummeting.
Have you ever had red?
Yeah, I kind of think I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
red.
Anybody who sands floors in the middle of the summer, I think has had it. Yeah.
If you work in construction at all, and you're sweating, and you get red, it is
a little
so
dust down in there. Yeah.
Dust? Really? No, I got the solution for you.
No, I mean, I think that's what helps cause it.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say that.
You got a little dirt.
That would irritate things with the sawdust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the solution for this, and this is another PSA. If you find yourself with red, and it's going to get a little graphic here, all right? I just going to forewarn you, but I'm telling you, when the guy told me this, I was going to say show me this, but he told me this. This was I thought I was going to have to go home for the day. I just was at the point like 2:00 in the afternoon, like I just can't do it any longer. I can't walk. It hurts so bad. If you head to the outhouse, grab yourself a bunch of toilet paper and put it between your cheeks. The red is gone completely, miraculously gone. Instant relief. And I know somebody is, well, there's two teams that's going to be listening to this. One is, wow, we really didn't need to know that. That really didn't need to happen. And the other camp is going to go, holy smokes, man, that's a lifesaver. And it was, for me, a game changer, man. Like, I could finish the rest of the day. I was happy. I was miserable the entire day until I learned this. So if you ever find yourself with red, you now have a solution. So there's two solutions we have for you today. One is Red Out, which is Bona's new product to get rid of pink in the in those floors.
Yeah.
And the other is Red. You take your pick.
Yeah.
They're both going to be game changers.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't use Red Out on the red. Don't go there.
No.
Yeah, I'm saying that because legally we probably have to say something like that. Yeah. I'll be shocked if this doesn't end up on the cutting room floor anyways. So
oh, I don't know. I think listen, this is real. And this is two problems that we can solve in the industry.
What brought this on? Where did this come from? I mean, how long ago did you do this?
Oh, years ago.
That's what I'm thinking. Like 20 years ago you did this?
But it was so impactful, no pun intended, that it stayed with me my whole life. This was
so phenomenal. When you heard Red Out, that was the first thing you thought of? Red Out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought we could combine two wonderful, helpful tips in one show.
That's why they listen. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's why they listen, because they know they're getting the nuts and bolts from us.
There you go.
We pull no punches here.
Yeah. Will Red Out work on pine floors or any other floors, species of wood?
Yep. It's going to work on, but you got to test everything. You know, you got to see what it's going to look like. You got to do a sample area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd asked Robbie that, and Robbie has done it on Brazilian cherry. He said it turned the Brazilian cherry. It kind of took the red out, but it gave it a light brown. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you just got to work on it. You know, the other thing too is when, you know, how many times have you stained a red oak floor, you know, a lighter or a brown, and that red comes through where they really don't want it? Well, the Red Out system is also like water pop on the floor. So you are kind of two birds with one stone type of deal. It does count like a water pop, and stain will take like water pop. So you're going to get a better, a more vibrant stain color when you use the Red Out. Plus, on red oak, you'll eliminate that pink and get a truer stain color with it.
And for people that say, well, I don't roll, or what I hear rolling comes up again. Don't think of this like rolling finish on. I mean, yes, it's very similar. The action is very similar, but it is not like, oh man, I have to do this so careful in case I miss a spot. I'm not used to rolling. I don't roll. This is child's play. It really is. It's just nothing to this. And again, don't be alarmed. The first coat was probably going to look funky to you. Let it dry for 15 minutes. Put on the second coat, and it absolutely looks fantastic. The second coat, it clears all that up. So,
the other thing I was playing with it with Nordic on red oak. Sometimes that pink will bleed through. Yeah, well, a lot of times it does. With this, that's what I had done yesterday. Was we put a coat of Red Out down, let it completely dry up, and then we put a coat of Nordic on. I was like, wow, that looks good. That really looks good. You know, because sometimes you're putting a few coats of Nordic not to get that whiter. But I know sometimes we're putting more Nordic on to eliminate the pink. And now, you know, you get a really clean Nordic look where you can really see the grain of the wood. You know, the beauty of the wood kind of shows through, where sometimes once you get up to multiple coats of Nordic just to eliminate pink, you start to lose clarity once you get up around 3-4 coats, you know. So this is definitely going to help with that too.
Man, if you've been out of the business for 5 years, like out of the floor trade altogether. We're, came out of a coma and jumped back into the floor business. And look at the technology that's changed in the last 5 years, Rob. It's incredible. And this is going to be an upcharge for sure. I mean, an opportunity to solve a problem for a homeowner on a job site when your clients talking with designers. How many times have I been with designers and they really want that white oak look? They don't want the pink to show through, and you're trying to come up with a solution for them. And man, this is a problem solver. This is a solution. And again, the cost of the difference between white oak and red oak now is so significant that you could go with a red oak floor, use a white out, and achieve some of the same looks that you're looking for. So this is absolutely going to be fantastic, and kudos to the R&D team that were that came up with this.
I think you just called it whiteout.
Did I really? I thought I said white oak.
No, he said whiteout.
We haven't invented white out yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're getting screwed. Yeah. See?
Mm-hmm.
Red butt, red out,
Yep.
white out.
Yeah.
It's red out. I think it's Bona
Yeah.
Red Out. I think that's what the real name of it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the other things too is when you're using the red out, not the white out, but the red out, is if you're going to sealer after that. If you're not going to stain, if you're going to sealer, you want to give it a little buff. You want a little light abrasion, very, very light abrasion. Just get it smooth, double stack maroon pad, maybe a 240 diamond on there, but a very light abrasion when you're using sealers. Just going to give you a little more working time.
Do you have a cold or something? You sound like you have
I got
up or something.
Wicked allergies. Yeah.
Do you really? Okay. Boston just came through, didn't it? No place in the world do they say that. No place. Wicked allergies.
Wicked. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I don't have.
If I had a really awesome boat, you know what I mean? If I had a boat that was just so awesome that it's so big and so awesome, you put a name on it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the name of my boat. Wicked Pissa.
Yeah.
Wicked Pissa. WICKED. Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And then Boston's big with Pissa. PISSAH. Like, hey, how was that cheesesteak sub? Oh man, it was Wicked Pissa. It's a good thing.
That is crazy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. In New York, you got Forget About It.
Yeah.
Right? In Boston, their version of Forget About It is Wicked Pissa.
Okay. I learned something.
There you go. Everybody did who doesn't live in New England. Now you know.
Well, I don't have a remedy for that ailment that you have. I don't have nothing for that.
What, for this?
No, for your congestion. I could cover your other end, but
the good thing about this is when I'm like this, I can do a much better sling blade.
You do, yeah.
Movie Sling Blade?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
one of the best.
So now I'm like, I ain't got no gas in it. My throat, you know what I mean? Yeah. What'd you think of that movie?
One of my favorites. I absolutely loved it.
Absolutely. That's gonna be that's gonna be the on the floor pick of the week.
Yeah, you could go back and see that. Dwight Yoakam was so good in that.
If you have not, for people listening to us, if you have not seen the movie Sling Blade, you got to get it. You got to watch it. Okay?
Yeah. That little kid,
you have got to watch it. Now, nothing against the ladies out there, but Pauline just did not care for that movie. It was disturbing to her.
Really?
Yeah.
Judy loved it. Wow.
Now, we saw it. I brought her to see it in the theater, too. We saw that one in the theater.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the movie where, I'm not going to get into what the scene was and everything, but I was the only person in the movie who is just hysterically laughing at it. Okay?
It's beautiful.
It's the scene where he's talking to John Ritter and he's trying to suck a shake through the straw. Do you remember that conversation
Yep,
they're having?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
How absolutely drop dead serious it was, but
Yep.
he just couldn't get the shake through the straw and he just kept
Mhm.
looking at it while this guy's pouring out his life story.
Yep.
I
Yep.
I thought it was comedy genius. I thought it was one of the funniest things I
Yeah.
had ever seen in my life. And Pauline, I'll never forget, she is yanking on my shoulder and shirt, just pulling me, just not yelling, but whispering very loud in my ear, please stop laughing. Nobody else is laughing at this.
Ah.
You're the, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is absolutely one of the funniest things ever. So please, I want everybody to watch the movie, look for that scene, and tell me how funny you think it is. Because did you think that scene was funny?
I did think it was funny. It reminds me of.
Thank you.
All right, I'll tell this, and I don't know if this is too much in this episode or how much time we got, but I'll try to make it quick. We have a friend who's mentally challenged. I think he's 56 years old, and he's more like a 6-year-old in day-to-day actions. But he's an absolute sweetheart, man. You can't be around him and not love the guy. He's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy, and the family that takes care of him they take him on every vacation. If not for that, he would be a ward of the state, and he'd have nobody. But they take him on every vacation. They look out for him. He's family to them, and he actually has a great life. And recently, we're in Gatlinburg a few years ago when they had all those fires in Gatlinburg, and that was terrible. I mean, like I don't know, so many people died, 7 or 10 people died or whatever, and we had gone there like about I don't know a year later after the fires or 8 months later or whatever, and we're at a restaurant, and I was talking to the owner of the restaurant outside, and me and this guy was out there talking to the guy, and this guy is obsessed. The guy that's mentally challenged, he's obsessed with mowing the lawns. He lives to mow lawns. I mean, every time you talk to him, he's got a riding lawnmower, and that's all he lives for, and he loves it. And I don't care whatever time of year it is, he's talking about mowing lawns. And they had just got him a John Deere tractor, so he was thrilled with that. A small riding lawnmower. So we went to celebrate whatever. We went down to the Gatlinburg to this restaurant, and they were talking to the restaurant owner. The guy said his friend, as a matter of fact, his friend was the last person that passed away in this fire. She just recently passed away. And I said, "Oh man, that's terrible." And so my friend there, the gentleman that's mentally challenged, says, "Well, I just got a new John Deere mower for Christmas." And the guy looked at him like, "What the hell?" He was like dumbfounded, and was like, "Listen, I got my problems, you got yours." You know what I mean? And so it reminded me of that scene. Southern Appalachians or Southern Red Oak. How effective is it on that?
That's where we did our testing. Okay, a
Ah,
lot of the testing that we did, that Robbie did here in the training center in Monroe. That's what he wanted. He made sure he went out of his way to do a lot of his testing on Southern Red Oak and not Northern Red Oak. So he made sure, because we've all definitely seen it. There's definitely more pink and red in the Southern than there is in the Northern. He
that's the
tested
real
on the
test.
Northern. Yeah, he tested on the Northern too. But if we're gonna test, we might as well test on something as absolutely pink as we can find it.
Yep, yep. Awesome, good stuff. I'm excited about it, man. I know it's going to be hitting the shelves pretty soon at distribution. We've already, I mean, when we did the demos, people were like, "Oh, heck yeah, man, I could definitely use that." This is everybody that sees it and also sees the process where it's super easy. I mean, this is a super easy process, and it's just
Yeah, the whole deal with when you're applying is just don't let it puddle. I mean,
yeah,
you would almost, like I said, 500 feet a gallon. You're going to treat it like you would water popping. Get it on really good, 500 feet a gallon. Don't let it pool. Don't let it puddle. Don't let it streak. Just get it all laid out flat. But we're using a 3/8 snap roller on it. It's
okay,
yeah.
all right, Good stuff. Bona Red Out.
Here we go. You know, Wayne, before we wrap up here, I do want to mention one more thing about the A and the B. Old timers like you and man, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the bleach that we used to use, but it was an A and a B that we
Wood
mixed
coat.
together.
Wood coat with a K.
Yes, that was it. It was gallon jug, kind of red and yellow label, I think.
Mhm.
And it was an A and a B, and you mixed the A and the B together and used it like that. That's what actually, made it hot. You do not mix the A and the B together. Put on one, let it sit 15, 20 minutes. It does not need to be dry when you apply the B. But then after you're done with the B, that's the one that you're going to check with your moisture meter to make sure it's dry. So don't mix them together. Yeah.
All right.
And the other thing about this product is stay tuned. Stay tuned with this product. Robbie's playing with all sorts of different things here. The product management team is playing with all sorts of different things of things that we might be able to do with this, further down the road. It's a new thing. You know how Bona is. We're always, once we get something solid, we're going to test it, but we don't forget about it. We want to see how much further we can push and do things with different products. So, there's some definite other things I think coming down the road with this. And I think Todd Schutte is making some videos about this too.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some videos and some familiar ask questions, FAQs, and stuff like that Chris and them are working on. So marketing will have that. It'll be up on our website, I'm sure. And so look forward to having those videos out. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Don't you think it would have been a little bit more professional to say that our research and development team is doing some internal testing rather than Robbie's playing with it? It sounded like a little more professional.
Well, that's you and me, man. That's the yin and the yang. That's why it works. Okay. You're the one who has to say that kind of stuff. Plus, I'm not a corporate stooge. That's how corporate stooges talk.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're
and that was beautiful. Say that again. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Say it again. Okay. I bet you could.
Say what again?
Say exactly what you said. Our R&D department. I like that.
Yeah. That was, I don't have to say it again.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Wait a minute. Were you just about to say you're a man of very few words?
I was, yeah.
You were about to say.
Yeah. And the reason why I am is because you cut me off half the time. This has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.